Now, as for the weirdest piece of fan art I've ever been sent, well, that was a drawing of Luffy using Gear 4, except he wasn't using it with one of his usual limbs. Alright, here's a fun thing, like most of the things I do, or I hope so, I don't know, you can be the judge of that. But I've recently been living in the world of fan art, more specifically to hire artists to produce works that I can use on Grand Line Review. So mostly One Piece stuff. The idea is that I want to stop using anime screenshots, clips, and manga panels, because as much as I do believe in the concept of fair use, I don't think we're going to be winning Japan over anytime soon, potentially ever. So instead, I'll be spending a small fortune on original artwork, which should be great fun, honestly, it really should be, and it has been so far. But as a result of this endeavor, I've seen some weird stuff, and I suppose that this video may be designed to act as some sort of public service announcement of what not to do when applying for a job. Oh, and also as we go on, I'll be showing some weird fan art of me because why not? I never have a chance to show it elsewhere. But here is the call out I put out. Calling artists. The Grand Line Review YouTube channel is looking to expand the art library used in videos. We're specifically looking for quick response bulk work of individual characters and locations within the series. This is a paid position, and if you'd like to apply, then please send an email to grandlinereview@gmail.com and include the following, which is in big text: your name, age, and location, examples of your work, the rate you would charge per character. And then I also included images from two of my current artists to demonstrate the kind of thing it is that I was looking for. Honestly, I probably could have made that a bit clearer, the whole what I was looking for, that's a retrospective problem, as you will soon see. But I just wanted to break this down because I think it seems fairly simple, or correction, I thought it seemed fairly simple. I just wanted 3 things from a potential artist. I want your name because I want to know what to call you. I never said full name, it just needs to be a name, which is kind of funny because someone did send me a copy of their ID to prove they were who they said they were, and I was just like, you should not be sending this to strange people on the internet. I want to know their age, which is primarily to filter out people under the age of 18, because in a previous call out for a position, I did not ask for ages, which led to speaking to a lot of what I would discover to be a lot of underage candidates. We're talking anywhere from 17 all the way down to 12. And some of the example art I received from people under 18 was actually really good. However, that is where I draw a very strong line, because I don't think that 32-year-old men should be communicating with minors, and I especially don't think that they should be sending them money. It can be completely innocent, like this business arrangement, but it still just looks bad. And I wanted to know their location for communication reasons. For example, if someone was from Australia, New Zealand, Japan, or like that general fun Pacific area, then that is a plus for me because it makes communication easy due to being in similar time zones. Whereas Europe and America makes things slightly more difficult. Now with that said, almost everyone I actually hired was from Europe and America, so meh. The most important thing I asked for were examples of past work. I think that's fairly self-explanatory. Others did not. But now here is the tricky part. I also asked for a monetary rate per character. And I think this is what trips a lot of artists up because, quite frankly, most artists don't know how to value their work. And to be fair, at this stage, they also don't know the full extent of the job either. But to me, just being able to answer this question is an immediate plus. But I asked for 3 things, and now here is the rough part. If someone did not give me those 3 things, then I immediately rejected the application. The reason is because I had over 300 people sending me emails to apply, and getting through those takes a buttload of time. And I can't spend that time going back and forth with potentially hundreds of people trying to scrounge for information that I already initially asked for. And when I say hundreds, I do mean hundreds. And I immediately disregarded probably at least 2/3 of all applications, so around 200, simply because they did not answer the questions. As a good example, here's an email I received from an anonymous artist applying for the role. I'm looking to be able to do art for your channel, but before I submit all of my things, I want to ask something. How much are you willing to pay for my art? I'm hoping to make enough money to pay for the iPad I may buy just to take up this job. Please let me know a good price. And this, I think, is the worst possible reply because it doesn't give me any of the things it is that I asked for. Not even a name, actually, come to think of it. Now, usually when you send an email to someone that you don't know, it's a good idea to introduce yourself. But yeah, no name, no location, no age, no rate, and most importantly, no examples of their work. Which is frustrating because I wouldn't be able to answer this person's question if I wanted to, because I can't put a personal value on work that I haven't seen. There is no real standard rate for art because, well, it's so subjective. For example, I would be willing to pay much more for art in a style that I enjoy than I would for art that is more technically adept and has more time put into it, but is in a style that I don't care for as much. And also, the email doesn't exactly fill me with confidence either, because the candidate has revealed that they don't even have the tools required to do the job yet, and it's just, almost every word is a complete disaster. I will say that there there are also a lot of candidates who, in terms of a rate, offered me the very appealing number of $0, and those were rejected as well because, free stuff is nice, but I can't expect people to work for me like that. Because make no mistake, this is a fun project and One Piece is awesome and stuff, but this is laying the foundations for the future of my channel, and I wanted people to take it as seriously as I do. And to do that, they obviously need to be paid. Now, another reason why I rejected quite a few applications, and this is going to sound quite counterintuitive, but it was because the work they showed me was too good. Like these stunningly detailed pieces with multiple characters, immersive depthful backgrounds, splendidly chosen colors, masterful light rendering, and just all of the good things. They were brilliant. But the reason why I didn't go with them is because that's not what I was looking for. Again, I probably should have made this clearer in the call out, but I did specifically ask artists who can work in bulk, and I did provide examples of my fun little characters. In retrospect, what I should have said is that, I'm looking for something in more of a doodly style, which is a word that in my childhood meant penis. So sending me these artworks that could potentially take weeks to complete, gorgeous as they are, they're not what I'm looking for. I will say that one successful candidate sent me a CV consisting primarily of this sort of grand detailed work, but also included a sketch for One Piece character in the kind of style that they thought I might be looking for. And I pretty much hired them on the spot because I love that kind of initiative. Making that little example took the artist somewhere between 5 to 10 minutes, but it gave me the confidence to say, yes, you can do the job thing. And I suppose you could argue that I could have asked all of the other amazing artists to do something similar. They probably could have, they're definitely skilled enough, but the problem, again, is time. I just don't have the hours required to go back and forth with, say, 50 artists asking for trial sketches. Like, it's a lot of admin and keeping track of things and people, and just general stuff that I honestly didn't need to do, because plenty of other people did provide mock-ups or had existing work that suited the style I was looking for. Now, speaking of style, one successful candidate did also send me some fan art, which looks like the following, which honestly feels a bit like if Tekking and I did the fusion dance. It is a sharp black suit upon this chunksome figure, but hey, it was kind of cute, and more importantly, I could see this quick sketchy style working very well with One Piece characters. And so far, they very much have been. Here's one of my favorites from this artist of Mr. Sir Crocodile, looking rather hilariously annoyed. While we're on fan art, I was also tagged on Twitter a few weeks ago, I don't know how long it was ago, but it's this. This piece is by Desnes Citrus, and I kind of love it. And you may not immediately notice it, but the pose is a very classic One Piece panel, so that's also a nice touch. Also, the photo of the fish in the background is so good that I've seriously considered actually printing something similar off and using it. You know what, let's see if we can do the thing, the split screen. Now, as for the weirdest piece of fan art I've ever been sent, well, that was a drawing of Luffy using Gear 4, except he wasn't using it with one of his usual limbs. He was using it with his penis. So this is from the very vaguely named Luke on Twitter, and as you can see, it's Luffy with a raging Gear 4th preparing for some sort of intercoursal strike. Now, to be fair, this is hardly the most questionable thing I've ever been sent. Sometimes you guys get weird, like really weird, and you should stop. But the kind of sad reality of the artist callout is that even the majority of people that did give me all of the information I requested, well, the vast majority of them, they weren't what I was looking for. A big thing were artists who had this, like, I don't want to say generic, but like a very clear, tried and tested anime aesthetic, which you would think, that is great for an anime YouTube channel. But back to my motivation, I'm building this library to try and avoid being copyright struck, and that means I don't necessarily want someone who can replicate that style one for one, because Toei would see that and they would go, aha, he's using our thing, which is something else that I learned from this experience. I needed to make the fact that I was looking for unique styles much more clear. Now, a further reason why quite a few applications were rejected is because they were on exclusively traditional media. Like, I cannot count the amount of people who sent me examples of their work on paper or canvas, which, to be fair, I guess I didn't say I was looking for a digital artist, but I did think it was implied because I need to use those works in digital videos. I don't know, I guess I'm going to say that one's on me for not being specific enough. At the same time though, if I add too many instructions and caveats and requirements, then that can lead to confusion as well. And to illustrate, I want to share something I used when I put a call out for editors on the channel late last year. This is a very specific trap that I baked into the application as a means of, well, saving me time. And this process was a lot more formal than the artist applications. I had a whole document with like my logo and everything. Doesn't that looks fancy? There was a list of role requirements, central criteria, and most importantly, instructions on how to apply. And it is here that we find the twist. Towards the end of the document, I had a sentence that said the following: to submit an application, please send all of the above to me in an email with the subject line, Grand Line Review, editor position, which seems really innocuous and kind of pointless. It doesn't tell me anything talking about their editing skills, their rates, availabilities, and useful things, etc. But it does tell me what to expect from you going forward. Because if you went through this document and you didn't send me an email with that exact subject line, then it means you either didn't read the whole thing or didn't comprehend it. Either way, it's bad, because it says to me that I'm probably going to have a rough time communicating with you. Like, especially if you didn't actually read it, because then how can I be sure that you're ever going to read anything I send you? And to be perfectly honest, in this case, I didn't even open emails without the subject line, Grand Line Review Editor position. I mean, I wasn't too much of a hard ass. If it was mostly correct, I would still open it. But this did save me a lot of time, because all in all, I got about 500 applications for that. And of those 500, I would say at least 400 of them failed to do that very simple thing. Like, it was a shocking amount. I can't even get it out of my mouth. It was that shocking. But it was great because it makes my decision making so much easier. But in conclusion, when applying for a job, read the application very carefully and give your prospective employer the information that they're asking for. Otherwise, it's probably just a waste of your time to apply in the first place, especially when you could be using that time to play with your adorable border collie. Hey Pucky, would you like to go for a walk? I think we would, yes.